Okay, so these are notes on function notes. And what is a function? So a function is a relationship between x and y. For every x, there's only one y value. So my real life things, if you are in a functional relationship, because you are x, then you can only date one person at a time. That's a functional relationship. So that's this part. My next example, B, if you are x, and so you look at the physical destination, you can only be at one physical place at one time. So I cannot physically be at the school building, 813 Esham Road, Centralia, Washington, and physically be at home at the same time. So that's how I like to think about it. The next thing is a mapping. So I'm a teacher and I'm at Centralia High School and I can be at home. So that would mean this is not a function because I cannot be at the high school and I cannot be at home. So that would make that not a function. This is also a mapping, is just where you're taking and you're looking at the relationship, because this 2 goes to 4 and that 2 goes to 6. That's not a function. Also, 1 goes to 6 and 1 goes to 4. So that makes that not a function. So I like to look at this as a function, and I just kind of look and I see determine if the following is a function y or y not. So I look and I'm going to say, hey, if I take a vertical line for every x value, there can only be one y. So as I move along my x-axis, this spaghetti noodle is my vertical line, and it only touches my graph one place at a time. So this would be, yes, it's a function. So every x has one y. Okay, and then I look at a table and I just look to see if any of your x values repeat. So this is yes, because there's no repeats of x. And then this one, and I go across and I look and I say, oh, it didn't pass the vertical line test. So right there and right there hits at 2 places. So this is no. And then I just put not pass the vertical line test, VLT. So then I look at my mapping and I look in here and I said, oh, 4 is dating 2 and 4 is dating 4. So that's not good. Or you can say that 4 goes to place 2 and 4 goes to place 4 at the same time. So that's not. So this is not, and 4 is going to 2 places at one time. You can also say that 4 is dating 2 people at one time. I don't care how you want to say it, just so it makes sense to you. So again, this is a table, so I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to look, and then, nope, repeats. So this is a yes. X does not repeat. So when I look here, it's a graph, and I look across, not touching, oh crap, it touches right there. It touches 2 places. So this is a no, and so that's a false. It's not a function, and it's not pass the vertical line test. Okay, this one is a tricky one. So this one right here, because you've got an open circle and a closed circle. So even though you have that vertical line test, this is a yes. And my reason why on this is because this part right here, it's an open circle. It doesn't include that value 2. So this would be like 2.1. So this is a yes. And this one right here is a big fat no, because 5 is repeating. And 5 is dating 1, 2, 3, 4. And, 5 is dating a lot of people. 5's a player. So that's not a function. Okay? And sometimes you can call the vertical line test, and this is called the vertical line test if it passes the vertical line test. So that's how you can do it, and I talked about that. The next thing is when you have a list of numbers, you can do one of the 2 followings for these list of numbers. So I like to say yes or no. So you can make a graph of these. So I just go to 1, and I'm going to go up to 9, and I'm just going to graph my points. I go to 2, and I graph my point at 7. I go to 5, and I graph my point at 1. I go to 7, and I graph my point at 1, and I go to 3, and I graph my point at 9. Okay, and then I can take my vertical line, my spaghetti noodle, and see if all of those match. So that's one way to look at it. You can also do the mapping, x, y. So you can do the mapping right here, and you look at all of your x values. So I go to the smallest x value, which was 1. So my smallest x value, my next x value is 2. Then I'm going to skip to 3. Then there's no 4. So then there's a 5. There's no 6. So now I'm at 7. So, oops. So all I did was take this, and then I put in my values. And now this next one, I'm going to write these down so you can actually see them. So it's 2, 7, so 1, 9, 2, 7, 5, 1, 7, 1, and 3, 9. So those are my points that were given. So now when you have those points that are given, this was my 1, my 2, and remember, all of these are just the x values that go right here. So this is x. So now we're going to do just the y's. So now I'm going to take my y, and I'm just going to kind of look. Those are my y's. So now I have a 1. I already have a 1, so I don't need to repeat it. And then I've got the next number is a 7. That's okay. And then I have a 9. So 1 goes to 9. 1 maps to 9. That's okay. 2 goes to 7. So 2 maps to 7. Then I have 5 goes to 1. And then I have 7 goes to 1. And then I have 3 goes to 9. So if I look at all of these, none of those repeat. So that would be, yes, that is a function, because none of my x values repeated. So this would be, yes, this is a function. And you can, if you use the graph, you can say it passes the vertical line test. And then on this one, if you use mapping down here, I'm going to make this smaller so we can actually see. So if we did the mapping down here, and you did that particular mapping, what happens is, yes, this is passes the vertical line test if you graphed, and then the mapping, no x repeats. So this is why it's a function, because x did not repeat. So now we're going to go through here, and I'm going to graph my points again. So 0, 2. So I'm at 0. I go up to 2. 3, 3. So I go over 3 to the right and up 3. I'm at 8, 7. Over 8, up 7. I'm at 2 and up 2. 1, 2. And then I'm at 3 and up 9. Okay. So we can look on our vertical line test, or we have x, y. And so I'm going to rewrite my numbers. 0, 2. And then you have 3, 3. 8, 7. 2, 2. And 3, 9. I just rewrote my numbers down here so we can see them. So now when I look at my smallest x value, my smallest x, so I'm just looking at my x's. So my smallest x is 0. I like to put them in order. So 0, is there a 1? No, but there's a 2. And then I have a 3, and I've got those, and now I have an 8. So now I go through and I look, and then I look for my y's. So my y's, I have a 2, a 3, a 7, a 2, and a 9. So I've got a 2, I got a 3, and then I have a 7 and a 9. So 0 goes to 2. 2, where's my 2? 2 goes to 2. Oh, and we determined over here that that's okay, that 0 and 2 can be in the same place at the same time. That's okay. 3 goes to 3. And then I have 8 goes to 7. And I got 2 goes to 2. So we got that. And then I got, oh wait, I have 3 goes to 9. So 3 goes to 9. So this would be a no because there's a repeat of 3. And if I looked for my vertical line, doing my vertical line test when I graph, this would be a no because this has 2 places that it hits on that vertical line. So this is not a function 3 repeats or has 2 y values. So that 3 has 2 y values. This is why that's not a function.